Hello, Cancer. Welcome to your April forecast. I'm Nicholas Ashbaugh. I hope you're doing well. We have Apollo taking a nap behind us. We'll give him a little pat on the head and then get started. Hey, buddy. How's it going? All right. Thank you so much, Apollo, for giving us that Zen moment. Let's get started. If it's your first time here, welcome. This can be used for Sun, Rising, Moon, and Venus. If you're a return viewer, welcome back. These are going to be a little bit truncated this month, both just because I want to evolve the format and make it more concise, and also because I'm trying to get everything done here in the first part of the week. I had an air conditioner leak, create some damage, and I need to get out of this apartment and move to another unit while there's repairs done. So drama aside, this is a way to get everything out faster. So thank you for being patient. As always, I'd like to kick things off with channeled messages. While I was meditating, I kept seeing the figure or image of an octopus in my mind's eye. And as a totem, this is, first of all, perfectly appropriate for you because it lives in the water. But aside from that, it represents intelligence, flexibility, strategy, and the ability to blend in, because camouflage is a sort of special gift in certain species of octopus. But the flexibility thing is the most important. They can really get in and out of situations with grace. All of the different tentacles or arms can manage a lot at once. So I feel like you are perfectly situated to juggle a few things, to think your way in or out of a difficult situation, and also to, even if you feel like you're a fish out of water, you can blend in certain situations. The key here is maybe for some of you, you've done too good a job of blending in. And in order to get your like star moment, you have to take the camouflage off and kind of like step into the spotlight. The other thing that I see when I tune into the totem is sometimes the tentacles can come from someone else. So there may be someone around you that's trying to grab some time, some energy, some attention, and your general sort of challenge this month is boundaries with respect to that. But I love the intelligence piece and the multitasking piece of this totem, and I think you're going to have a great month ahead because of that. Please take a moment, close your eyes, imagine that there's a circle of white light around your body, and in that circle of light you are connected to Source. Let's welcome in your angels, spirit guides, and ascended masters, and see what Spirit has in store for you. All right, let's take a look at your catalyst. This is such a sacred and beautiful symbol to come through. Merkaba or Merkava, depending on the spelling, is this sacred geometry symbol that comprises your mind, your body, your spirit, but it also is connected to the chariot. In fact, if you break down the different syllables of the word, they can mean like the divine chariot. And you got the chariot coming through for you, but it's in the reverse position. So owning your power, owning your direction is going to be a big part of this month, this adventure. It's a big paragraph here. Let's read it and see if there's anything that we really want to take away from this. The frequency of the Merkaba supports our ability to use our consciousness to traverse into other layers of reality and dimensions. Thinking bigger, not just accepting what's in front of you. The other piece here is it says it activates our access to the Akashic records or inheritance as well, merging the totality of our experience into the present to serve our highest purpose. For those of you that watch, you know I hate paragraphs that are this long. The Merkaba is telling us to go beyond the physical, to lean into our intuition, to lean into the metaphysical, and to take a direction, or more specifically, to pick a direction. Because with the chariot in reverse, some of you may be living in the past, thinking that was the best that there was, or I should have done that, or I could have done that, could have, would have, should have. This chariot is saying, tie up loose ends, release any sort of regret, and turn the wheel and focus. We have now an archer here ready to aim their bow and arrow towards something in the future. The Merkaba protects you. It's a great symbol to meditate and imagine yourself in the center of it because it helps you see in all directions. It is a divine, multifaceted symbol. If you look at it, there's like two triangles, but it's also three-dimensional. So as above, so below, but also looking at past, present, future, and everything in the periphery. It comprises all of that. So great sort of image to meditate with. Know that Spirit's coming through. And I think one of the big things so far before we even get into the Celtic Cross is to pick a direction and stick with it. If you're clear on what your GPS is, the sky is the limit. All right, let's see how everything is shaping up here. You know, I quite like that we don't have significantly challenging cards. There's no Devil, there's no Tower, there's no Ten of Swords. There is a need to create better balance and to get in a path that is more fulfilling. But once you do that, the rest of the cards are very much in support of that. So why don't we get started with Justice at the center? This card is in the reverse position, and Justice reversed is an invitation to create balance, to fight for any injustice in your life or perhaps in someone else's, and to create work-life balance or to fill in the missing pieces of your life so that you can stand on solid ground. It's your moment to accomplish that sort of that beautiful harmony that might have been missing previously. Additionally, the Justice card, when reversed, is reminding us of the power of saying no, creating boundaries, and making sure that we get what we deserve. There are times where it is worth fighting and it is worth speaking up, and when this card appears reversed, it's time. So if someone does something wrong, call it out. If something isn't fair, circle it and send it back to that person for review. And if you don't want to do something or if something isn't right, simply put your foot down and say no. This is about reclaiming any lost balance in your life, whether it's financial, emotional, health, or just your time. Reclaim it, and part of reclamation begins with the word no. Okay? Beautiful energy. If you need to fight, this is the month and this is the time to fight as well. All right. Crossing this card, we have the Four of Cups. There's more than meets the eye, and there's more than two sides to the story. So one thing that I would do if you are engaging in any sort of dispute, argument, or negotiation is make sure you understand the big picture. I don't remember the exact phrase, but there's two sides to the truth, and the reality of it is somewhere in the middle. So the more you know, the clearer you can see this. Four of Cups is also a hidden blessing card, so taking justice out of the mix. There may be something in your life that just didn't end up the way you wanted it to, and you wish that you would be somewhere else right now, but you might be perfectly aligned to see something new. That cup is usually floating right by the person's head, and sometimes it's so obvious, or it seems like it's right there in front of you, but you're blindsided to it because you're looking for someone or something else. If you open up your eyes and open up your heart to receive something slightly different and possibly slightly better, you may be surprised. This is also a paradigm card, a paradigm shift card, I should say, where rather than focusing on what isn't, or the could have, would have, should have's, you focus instead on what could be. And embrace what's coming through now because there are blessings in that. Avoid comparing yourself unfairly to others. You never truly know the big picture, and it's not going to really make you any happier. You can instead get inspired by other people's progress, but never think to yourself, well, I deserve it and they don't, or why isn't this happening? Instead, just think, they got it. What if I could create something similar in my life? All right, as we take a look here at the deep past, we have the Knight of Pentacles coming through. One of the opportunities this month is to see something to the finish line. You've already created a decent amount of momentum with this Knight card, and don't lose your focus. That's one thing that's coming through. And the comparison card could take you out of your sort of like swim lane, and you don't want that to happen. When I was going to this card, the other thing that came through is that there might be someone in your life, like a parent, who is comparing you to a sibling or someone else, even a boss. Why can't you be more like this person or this person? You just focus on doing what you're doing, because when I'm looking at this, it feels like you're actually tracking in the right direction. Knight of Pentacles is also going to fight for what they want and continue to move just a little bit each day in the right direction. So it's not a race, but it is about consistency. Stay consistent with your goal, and I think you're going to continue to make progress. This includes financial growth and recovery, because what we see with that Justice card reverse is some of you might be bouncing back after a challenging time. Again, forgive yourself, keep focusing on the growth that you're doing, because in the recent past, I also get an indication that things are headed in the right direction. This is a really fun take on the Eight of Wands, because we can see that normally the wands are flying through the air. Here they're kind of reaching up towards the sky, and all of the flowers are attracting bees and hummingbirds and butterflies and all these pollinators. So your consistent work, your ability to reach higher is going to pull you into the right frame of mind first, but also into great relationships, great networking, great opportunities. So I think this is going to eventually, towards the end of the month, be a really, really great month with a lot of productivity. You want to keep it up with the Eight of Wands, keep up the work ethic, keep the momentum going, and things pay off in the long run. If you feel like you're lost in the shuffle, all of these cool pollinators also represent people that you can connect to. So build a network, a community, a circle of friends that you trust. Oftentimes that's much better than family because it's chosen family. Now, I think this is one of the most significant blocks that's coming through in the entirety of the spread. If you're not feeling it emotionally, that is also something that can take you out of your game. So it's okay to be disappointed. Sometimes we need pain, disappointment, upset, or discomfort to push us in the right direction. It is one of the teachers, not the only teachers, pain. The fact that the Three of Swords was reversed is actually slightly auspicious. Look at the center sword. It's actually a little bit more like a needle and thread. So with this card in reverse, I feel like you're starting to heal and mend, but it takes time for the heart to heal. The next card in this is Four of Swords. So one of the ways that you can facilitate healing is through rest. So taking more time off. You don't have to take a vacation. We can't all do that. But making sure that you're not extending yourself. Now we're going into the octopus again, into too many extracurricular activities, too many volunteer activities, too many social encounters. Make sure that everything that you're doing is worth it and it's giving you reciprocity, because the reverse justice card can just show inequity. So you're basically giving more than you're receiving, and it has to balance out. But again, look at that in the upright position. That's definitely a needle and thread. You can see the thread right at trying to point to the camera right there. So just keep working on it. It takes time to heal. And actually, I see the sutures. So if you look really close, you can actually see the sutures. So you're about halfway through to the healing. It's going to take a little bit more time, but keep on working on it. And by resting, saying no, and really fighting for equity, I feel like that's going to bring you so much closer, and you'll get there before you know it. In the near future, we have the Two of Cups. So some of these cards here were challenging, just a couple, but everything here is pretty good. So this is the missing link. You may know someone who knows someone that can connect you to something big. That being said, this is a time to, even though I want you to be mindful of how you're spending your time and energy, if there's a networking opportunity that could be advantageous, go to it. If there's a party or gathering where you know that you might meet some new people, nothing is going to be lost by doing that. You may meet a new friend, a new ally, someone that could really open a door for you, okay? So this is, in existing relationships, you can go deeper. In new friendships, you may just hit it off at the get-go. If you're trying to pull people into your life for a business opportunity, this is highly magnetic. And even if you're happily partnered and not looking for someone, you still may just find that you're walking down the street and bump into someone and strike up some sort of a conversation or connection that may be substantial. Say yes to invitations and don't be afraid to talk to people this month. Also, yes, if you're looking for love, this is very, very auspicious. I noticed not one, but three different lilies, or these are also, what am I thinking? Lotuses. So that is representing deep cognitive connections. So for those of you that want to go back to school or are getting coached or mentored by someone, there's so much that can come through, a lot of love and knowledge as well, all right? Beautiful energy, love it. And as we mentioned earlier, the Merkaba and the Chariot are intertwined. This is a way that you can travel through time and space. This is asking you to pick a direction. So Where do you want to go? Not in a pressure sort of way, but more the universe is asking you, where do you see yourself in a few years? What is it that you're trying to accomplish? The more you know, the faster it can show up to assist you. Also, with the Chariot in the reverse position, it's about making sure that you're driving conversations. This often is associated with war, and it doesn't mean you have to fight, but it does mean that you have to lead. So if you're entering into a conversation where it's either difficult or it's a negotiation or you're trying to get your point across, come in prepared. Stay calm. Stay organized. Help people see it from your perspective. That bow and arrow is getting them to focus. Say, I hear what you're saying about this and this, but I think we're losing track of the target. Keep yourself focused. Keep others focused. That ability to really hone in on something is going to be so effective. Don't be afraid to wrap up loose ends, as I said earlier, but the invitation on this card is also don't live solely in the past. Think about what's available now and next. As we take a look at what's going on in your environment, we have a demanding card. It's Queen of Pentacles, but she's reversed. I love the illustration here. She's totally pampering herself. She's totally being taken care of. And there may be someone around you that isn't afraid to take and ask, but they don't give back. Or in the case of a boss, they just expect things to be done. They're not really thinking about how much work it requires from your perspective. This is where you're going to hold up the scales and say clearly and without being defensive, oh, okay, it seems like this is the priority. I can do that, but this and this is going to have to fall off my plate. Should I delegate it or should I delay it until next week? Come up with a solution, but don't promise to do everything. And if they say I need it all, say then I need help or I need more money or I need more support, something. So hold your ground and push back a little bit because someone's asking for more. Or you can just say, do you want to help out with it? I'd be happy to give you some assistance, but I can't do this all on my own. Okay? It's hard to say no. It's hard to speak up, but they need to understand just how much they're asking. This is also an opportunity that it may be worth the time and effort, but you are going to have to then juggle around some other things in your own life. So just think about the investment. Think about how much you want to put into it and make sure that it's worth it. When we're looking at overall expenditures in your life, like your finances or your schedule, it's also asking you just to be smart and not kind of impulsively commit, spend, or decide. Weigh it all out, and you can always start with a more conservative estimate and grow it. But if you go for too much too quickly, it could end up causing problems in the long run. So enter into new contracts and agreements cautiously and conservatively. As we take a look at hopes, fears, and opportunities, we have the Emperor card coming through. This is really auspicious in this position, actually. It's showing me, we just talked about like taking charge or reclaiming power. When you start to say no, oddly enough, people respect you more. I think part of this is because sometimes people don't know what they want. They're not used to getting limits. And when they see someone that is organized, assertive, and not overly defensive, they're like, wow, okay, yeah, let's do it. So don't be afraid to sit in that power, to sit in that confidence. And of course, you have to do the work and do the homework. But when you're finally there, trust me, it feels really good. And people can read it. They can tell. And I feel like you have a potential this month to really surprise yourself with your autonomy, independence, power, and leadership. Are you ready to step into it? Are you ready to build something? If you get the plans and the blueprints together, I feel like this could be your month. In relationships, in business, and in life, this is you saying, I want this or I don't want that. And it can be that simple, just saying what you want, saying what you need. We have beautiful energy here coming through in the outcome, 2 of Wands. This, of course, is connected to dreaming, imagining, envisioning something before it happens. And oftentimes we don't really sit with those sorts of things. We just keep going from one thing to the next thing to the next thing, and we don't really digest and marinate and plan and blueprint. All of those things are comprised within this. Once you complete that phase, the high priestess or the magician or both start to rush into your life. Because when you can dream it, you can do it. When you believe it, you can identify the synchronicity. Slow down this month. Get the plan ready. Sketch something out. Think about your strategic moves. What's next? What's after that? What's after that? Think about, the next 6 months and maybe the next couple of years. This is going to make you powerful, effective, confident, and it's going to help you identify synchronicities when they come knocking. Let's pivot into the expanded forecast where we look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. Before I get into that, if you want to book a private appointment with me, you can do that through my website. I mention that because in this extended forecast, I'm going to move at a quicker speed. I think it's easier to follow, and also it's going to allow me to get all of these done a little bit more expediently. So I'm always here for those deeper dives, and of course you can also check me out every Sunday where I do a live stream, and it's a much longer forecast, so whichever avenue fits you, go for it. All of that being said, let's start off with health, which is your mind, body, and spirit. The card that came through here is the 9 of Pentacles. So this is about slow, steady movement. And actually, we can see that even a little bit better here, of course, as evidenced by the snail. What is great about the 9 of Pentacles is the payoff, and we can see all the rich abundance around her. Plus, this is a super opulent card. And she has the falcon there on her arm, which is saying she's taking time to see things from a higher perspective. In this modern interpretation, she's taking time to smell the flowers. She still has that falcon right by her, so she's listening to her higher insight. She might also be working with people. And so now let's break this down into your health. Anything worth doing is worth doing slowly and properly. The snail is your best friend. If you're changing up your diet, exercise, or any aspect of your health routine, you don't want to radically change things because the body panics. So work with a professional, create a structure and a schedule that you can adhere to, and do it every day. It's better for something to take several months and for it to stick than for you to get quick results and then drop it because it's just not something that you can sustain. Slow is better. This is also about the payoff in the long run, really looking at where you see yourself in the distance. And just like an athlete would think about that medal ceremony or being able to overcome certain bests like times and whatnot, set little goals for yourself and celebrate those goals, okay? Ultimately, this is a card connected with success, and I quite like that. Quickly glancing at the cards, let me see if there's anything else. So this can just be a call to action for general emotional well-being. Mental health doesn't get enough attention in today's society, but it should. So if you're sad, if you're depressed, if you're feeling overwhelmed, talk to someone. That is actually the very next card. Therapy, friendship, camaraderie, socializing. We also don't realize how lonely people can be sometimes. We're not talking about love, but just like a lack of friends and peers. So this is a good time to get involved in sports, extracurricular, even faith-based activities. Wherever you think you might meet someone, you could benefit from that. And yes, that is connected to health. Don't overdo it when you're eating, drinking, or doing anything, because this can be a card of excess, okay? And if you're tired, don't drive your car or any sort of vehicle because that can cause problems. All right, let's move on from health to wealth, your resources, your life purpose, and your career. Like it or not, it's time to make some choices. The 2 of Pentacles represents sort of like rubber band that's being pulled too tight or too tightly. So when you say no, like we talked about at the center, you liberate yourself to do something that you truly love and do it well. When you say yes to everyone, it's like the octopus being pulled in all directions. At a certain point, those tentacles and arms are going to snap, and we don't want that to happen. Even though you can do a lot and you're doing it well already, there is a limit. Know your limit and say no when you need to. Again, we're looking at wealth. So when it comes to your finances, there also might be certain things that just aren't in the budget for now. So decide priorities, create a budget, phase things out over time if you need to, whether it's home improvement or you're paying something off or buying something, it might be something where you have to do it in phases. And pick the thing that matters most, okay? I mentioned earlier that in the environment, we saw this Queen of Pentacles reversed. She wants to take everything, and sometimes it's just not attainable. So it's important to keep that in check, okay? Generally speaking, whether you're working or retired or looking for work, one of the biggest challenges is, again, just general mental state of mind and state of being. So we're looking for things outside of work that create balance. Also fighting for equity, making sure that you get what you deserve, because we see inequity between these two cards. So if you've been passed over for promotion, or you're negotiating for a new salary in a new job, or you're retired and everyone has an open hand and they're asking for more, there has to be balance. So the biggest thing is to negotiate. Never take yourself for granted. Never let yourself be paid less than you're worth, and really focus on finding something that's a good match. We have twos that are helping you through this. Partnership, advice, someone that can make a connection, and an opportunity that may not actually materialize this month, but possibly next month. And I think it's coming from the networking energy. Some of you are thinking of going off on your own, and I like that as well. The key thing here also is, what are you looking for? If I could leave you with one thing before moving on to the next category, it's that this is your life. And especially after you exit school, you have to start living for yourself, not for what family or friends or society or even a younger version of yourself wanted. It's time to really sit with this and think, if I'm going to do this and do it for a while, I have to be happy. Happiness needs to be there, so does balance, okay? Those are the big takeaways there. Moving on to love and relationships, let's see what's coming through here. Well, it's about chemistry. You either feel it or you don't. That's one thing that I can say here. If the spark is still there, anything is possible. If you're looking for love and meet someone and it's not there, don't waste your time and energy. For everyone that's not really focusing on relationships, the magician is about putting your passion into at least one thing that matters. But the magician can get distracted. And in any aspect of relationships, the magician reversed can doubt themselves. Don't doubt what you feel. High priestess sees it. The magician sometimes just feels it. So I really want you to trust what's in your gut, what's in your bones, what you just know from clairsentience. You're like, I know I need to do this, or I know I need to date that person, or I know that this path isn't the best. Whatever the inner knowledge is, really trust it, particularly when it comes to relationships. A couple of high-level notes for all kinds of relationships. Some of you may be in a little bit of a like a bumpy patch here. Whether it's an existing friendship or an existing relationship, the core energy, the core person that you think about the most, there could be healing on one or both parts. I do see things mending. I do see reconciliation, and it does look like the door will be open for that if you want to do that. It's up to you. The challenge this month in all relationships is there are people that need a lot more than you thought they would, and it may be more than you bargained for. So if it's new relationships and friendships, make sure that you can give what you need, and also that you're getting what you need back from them. I also think that there could be new people coming into your life, whether it's a teacher, a lover, or a friend, that they aren't what you thought they would be. If you're open to receiving love, friendship, or partnership in a different package, it could be quite good. So don't close a door before you've had a chance to get to know someone. And I feel like there could be one or two new people coming into your life. We see a teacher or a wise person in this card. We see someone here who they're fun to be around, but they take a lot. There's a lot of energy there in that earth sign. For you, the most important thing is, does it move you closer to not just your relationship goals, but your personal goals? Because I do see the possibility this month in any aspect of your life for derailment, but relationships definitely could take you in that direction if you're not focused, okay? So that gives you something to think about in this category. Now let's move on to destiny. In destiny, we have something beautiful coming through, enlightenment. This is where the power is this month, connected to energy like the star or the high priestess or the hierophant. If you create some space, and it could be a challenge, because when I was looking at wealth, you're pulled in a lot of directions, but space can be 10 minutes. Create space in your day to tune in. Between videos, I work out for a minimum of 10 minutes. And so I may hop on a treadmill, I may do a HIIT workout, I may do, which is like high intensity interval, or I might just sit and meditate and do some yoga. I switch it up. But when I do those things, I'm also tuning into spirit and getting my mind off of this and releasing some of the energy that comes through me. Find something like that. I'm multitasking because I'm busy, just like you. But I can create a minimum of 30 minutes for exercise and meditation in each of my day and work blocks. And I try to do much more. I try to get it to an hour if I can, but 10 minutes is enough to start the process, okay? And you may be seeking out new experiences with teaching, mentorship. This is a great card for going back to school. So for all the students out there, you're getting a big, like gold star from the universe. And for everybody, whether you're young or old, you can always learn. It's not just youth that can do that. Now is your chance to ask one last question. It can be anything that you still need some advice on. Go ahead and formulate that question. I'm going to find a place on the table where I can shuffle, and we're going to see what Spirit has to say. Oh, wow. A very powerful card coming through. So if it's a yes or no, it's a not yet. Part of it could be because the inner saboteur is coming through and telling you that it's like imposter syndrome, saying you're not good enough. And as you can see, it has nothing to do with you. What we see here is a teacher or parental or authority figure that said it in the past, whether recent or deep past, and it's sitting in your space, your head space. And so you knew when you received it that it was wrong, but it's still there. So let it go. And if you can't even identify it, there's just something limiting in the thoughts, give it a day, give it a couple of days before you decide to move forward on it. Because it feels like energetically and karmically, there's a little bit of clearing to be done. If you're moving into a new situation, like a roommate situation or a job or something of that nature, get to know the environment, like who you're going to work with, or in an apartment building, what your neighbors are like, or what the neighborhood's like. Make sure that you're vibing with everything, because there could be someone around you that could get under your skin. That's what I see with this. In other aspects of your life, this card reminds you not to waste your breath on people, or also jobs or groups of people that can't listen, won't take feedback, and refuse to be accountable. It's not worth your time, okay? Also, just be honest with yourself. That's sometimes the hardest thing. Before we wrap up today, I'd like to just say thank you so much for allowing me to read for you. If this resonated in any way, shape, or form, do me a favor, subscribe, leave a comment, like, share the video using the share button. This tells YouTube that it's a great video and other people can find it. It's 100% free, all of these things. So if you're strapped for budget and resources and just want to show support, that is the most important way you can do it, okay? You can also sign up for my newsletter, which is on my website. The address is below. From my website, you can also find me across all social media platforms. There's literally links in the navigation, and there's a special page on my website listing all of them. But it's always my full name, Nicholas Ashbaugh, on all those major platforms. From my website, you can also book a private reading if you would like to continue this conversation. I'm here for you. You can check rates and availability. You can give back through PayPal if you'd like to show some love and support. All of that can also happen right here by becoming a channel member or leaving a sticker with your comment. That being said, thank you so much for your love, your support, for being here, and for continuing to work on yourself. Like I said earlier, you can check out all of my daily, weekly, and monthly videos on my main channel page and tab, and also, again, from my website. Until I see you again, I hope you have a great month ahead. Take care.